Hi there, this is Aaron, and welcome to my new channel. For my first review on my new channel, I thought I'd do things just a little bit different. I want to take a look today at Transformers United Grapple. That's this guy here. Recently I went to an aftermarket toy store that I frequent. Haven't been there in a while, and they had some new figures. Nestled among the toys for Revenge of the Fallen and some Reveal the Shield was what I thought was Transformers Solar Storm Grapple. Now, the toy itself was sitting on a shelf, and the shelf is in an area that's behind a glass case with a gate, and you have to ask employees if you want to take a look at one of the figures there. So I went and got an employee, and I asked them if I could take a look at this figure. Now, I examined it as best I can, but the store itself has a policy that says that customers aren't allowed to transform the toys, which is a little confusing, I think, if I was looking to purchase a G.I. Joe figure or something from the Real Ghostbusters line, but I guess for Grapple here it kind of makes sense. Plus, I can see where they're coming from, you know. I mean, I understand that the store doesn't want customers trying to switch these things from one mode to another and breaking them, because then they get into a kind of a very gray area legally, you know. I mean, the figure's obviously not brand new anymore, and it doesn't even have any packaging, so how is the store going to even prove that it wasn't broken to begin with? But anyway, I examined it, as I said, the best I can, and what I was really looking for was to make sure that it wasn't broken, or there weren't any paint chips or stress marks of any sort. And it looked to be in really good condition, and they were selling it for a very nice price, so I picked it up. Then I got it home. Immediately, I knew something was wrong. Figure has a stamped Autobot symbol right on the front there. I was pretty sure that Reveal the Shield Solar Storm Grapple doesn't have that because, after all, it's Reveal the Shield, and the whole idea is that you're not supposed to know what it is until you rub the rub symbol, which of course it doesn't have. I believe Solar Storm's rub symbol is supposed to be right here. It doesn't have a rub symbol. So I got on the internet and I went to the toy galleries at Sabertron.com. Now, Sabertron.com is one of only 2 websites that I go to for my Transformers news. And in addition to up-to-date news, they also have hundreds, if not thousands, of really, really good galleries for Transformers toys. Photo galleries are fantastic. They shoot these things from every angle, in both modes. And you know what, I'm going to try to put a link in the description so that you guys can check them out if you really want to, and I really recommend that you should. Anyway, I take a look at the gallery for Solar Storm Grapple, and sure enough, he doesn't have an Autobot symbol stamped on the front. And also, there's a couple of other discrepancies. These side panels here on the Solar Storm version are not painted silver like these are. And also, if you take a look at the top, these bands right here are basically the robot's wrists, and those are painted in silver on the Solar Storm version. Finally, the biggest tell was if you take a look through the front window of the truck, you can see that the figure's head is orange and not black. That's when I knew that I had come home with Transformers United Grapple, which is the Japanese version. Now, you may be asking, what about the chrome hook? See, he's got an orange hook here, and that's what really fooled me. The Japanese version has a chrome hook. My best guess is that somebody had both versions of the toy, but they liked the Solar Storm Grapple better. And then they decided what they were going to do was switch out the hooks because they wanted the chrome hook on the Solar Storm Grapple toy. Then they took this figure and they sold it to the aftermarket store that I went to. What are you going to do? You know, I should have checked it better when I was at the store. Buyer beware. But anyway, I figured since I've got this toy out, I might as well do a quick review. United Grapple's alt mode is nice, if a bit boxy. He reminds me of one of those old Tonka trucks I had when I was little. You know, the big heavy metal ones. He holds together well enough, for the most part. The back is a little iffy, but the top kind of falls apart. It's got several gaps, and you can see his hands easily enough. You can see his feet too, but to be fair, you can't really tell that they're feet per se. I would almost say that he has visible head syndrome, but like the feet, you can't really tell that you're looking at the figure's head. Alt mode gets a solid 8. Transformation on this guy is slightly fiddly. The sides of the truck that become shoulder flaps tend to pop off easily, and so do the arms. I do like the way they utilize the switch for his head reveal though. I'll give transformation a 7. Now the robot mode. First, I have to say that I don't like the orange head. It may be cartoon accurate, but I always preferred the G1 Toys black head. Oddly enough, it looks like the head may have actually been molded in black and then painted over with orange paint. In robot mode, United Grapple is a little loose. I can't say whether or not this is a quality control issue, as I obviously didn't get him new. The looseness isn't too bad, just a bit annoying. He's just as boxy here as he was in alt mode, but it really works for this figure, I think. Despite my disliking the orange head, I'm giving the robot mode an 8. United Grapple has pretty good articulation. Posing is hindered slightly by the panels on his shoulders and the front bumper crotch plate, but none of those are too restricting. Articulation gets a 7. Now, there's absolutely no gimmick with this figure, not even a rub symbol, because this is the Japanese version, so I won't be scoring him in this category, or considering the lack of score when totaling up for his overall score. Overall, I'm giving United Grapple a 7.5. I like the mold, though this version isn't as good, in my opinion, as the Reveal the Shield Solar Storm Grapple, especially because of his orange head and slightly different paint apps. I don't mind so much that the chrome hook was switched out, though I wouldn't have been fooled into thinking it was the Reveal the Shield figure if that wasn't the case. I do enjoy the fact that he has a traditional faction symbol instead of the rub symbol that the Reveal the Shield version has. I'll recommend him, but I would recommend the Reveal the Shield version over this one, if you can get it. To be honest, I feel kind of duped by the aftermarket store that sold me this guy, because after I was done examining this, I had a little conversation about it with the employee, and it was a kind of a one-sided conversation because the employee wouldn't say a word about it, not even after I referred to it a couple of times as Reveal the Shield Solar Storm Grapple. Now, to be fair, the employee and maybe nobody at that store knew that this was Transformers United Grapple with the hook switched out. Except that I think that they did. And the reason why is because, first of all, I'm pretty sure that they examine all the toys that they purchase ahead of time. And if they had examined it like I did when I got it home, they would have known that this was United Grapple and not Reveal the Shield. Second is the nice price that I paid for this. Taking a look at eBay, both Reveal the Shield and United versions of this figure go for a lot of money. And even given that it didn't come with instructions or a box of any kind, still I paid a very nice price for this. On eBay he goes for a lot more. And then finally, he was displayed in vehicle mode where you couldn't see the head. I mean, yeah, you could see it if you looked through the windshield, but the head wasn't readily visible, whereas the orange hook was. Now, this store usually displays their Transformers figures in robot mode and not vehicle mode, but I didn't think anything of that at the time. But hey, what are you gonna do? You know, I'm gonna say this figure, it's not a bad figure, not at all. I really like it. Unfortunately, it's just not what I thought I was buying. Oh well. Thanks for tuning in, and keep on trucking. Whatever that means.